My name is Chloe. I live and work on a remote island in the Irish Sea called the Calf of Man. For this episode, I'm taking you underwater to explore the colourful and diverse world beneath the waves and to meet some of the creatures that call it home. The Calf of Man is a small island, approximately 600 acres, located off of the southwest coast of the Isle of Man in the Irish Sea. Not only is it known for its bird life, having been accredited as a bird observatory since 1962, it hosts a whole range of species, and like many isolated and wild landscapes, is a hotspot for wildlife. This extends to the coastal waters surrounding the Calf, a current-swept sea that delivers a rich food supply which supports great biodiversity, and for this reason it is a protected area designated as a marine nature reserve. This area is popular with divers, providing some of the Isle of Man's best scuba diving, starting with the rocky intertidal zone, which provides attachment sites for marine animals and algae, but at the same time some of the harshest living conditions for species due to the constant ebb and flow of the tide. The species here have evolved with special adaptations, enabling them to cope with the constantly changing environment. This is a beadlet anemone. The base of their body acts as a sucker to keep them secure in place and can be found attached to rocks and in rock pools. Once the tide comes in, only then can their tentacles become visible. They use these tentacles to sting and catch prey, and they then retract at low tide or when disturbed. Periwinkles are little sea snails and can be found amongst the seaweed on rocky shores. They come in lots of different colours from bright yellow to checkered brown, and they're able to seal themselves into their shell by closing a little door or lid. Whelks are another type of sea snail, the largest sea snail found in the UK. Limpets have cone-shaped shells that clamp onto rocks until the tide comes in, at which point they become active, moving around and eating algae using their tough tongue. Their tongue is the world's strongest known biological structure. When the tide retracts, the limpets return to their favourite spot by following a mucus trail they have deposited. This spot becomes worn over time by the edges of the shell, eventually leaving an obvious scar like you can see here in the rock, and this home scar helps the limpet to better attach to the rock, stopping it from drying out until the next tide comes in. These acorn barnacles attach to any hard substrate. Their body is contained within the shell, and when the tide comes in, they open the plates of the shell and stick their legs out, using them to catch plankton and other detritus in the water. These small things are often overlooked, but what amazing adaptations they have. So just don't forget when rockpooling to be careful, to leave everything as you found it, and make sure to replace things and not to scrape or remove animals off of their rocky home. Shrimp and prawns can also be found in rock pools, hiding in crevices, seaweed or under stones. They are scavengers and will eat anything they find, from decaying seaweed to dead mussels, using their pincers to collect food. They are great swimmers and can dart rapidly away from predators when needed. Seaweeds are also extremely abundant and diverse here, each with their own different colour and branching pattern. Seaweeds are marine algae that can be split into three main groups: the red, brown and green seaweeds. This thongweed, also known as sea spaghetti, is one of the longest seaweeds native to the UK. Thongweed grows from these nodule type things. It is also edible, and we have been harvesting some this season. It's the first time I've ever eaten seaweed before, after always wanting to try it, and it's really delicious cooked up with some pasta. Seaweeds photosynthesize like normal plants, but they do not have roots. Most have holdfasts to firmly grip onto a surface like this kelp. Look how anchored they are to the hard surface. Kelp seaweeds grow close to shore, creating underwater forests, another common and extremely important habitat here. Worms, mollusks, crustaceans, fish and other seaweed can all benefit from kelp, whether it be as a home, somewhere to shelter, or as a food source. Another species that relies on the rocky shores and intertidal zone is the Atlantic grey seal. Two species of seal can be found in and around the UK: common seals, which ironically are the less common species, and grey seals. During the summer months, the Calf provides the perfect haul-out site for males and females, enabling them to rest. It's a hard life. And then from September, the island acts as a breeding site, with around 60 to 90 pups born each year. Pups and mothers are monitored, and photo ID data is stored in a catalogue that identifies individuals and tracks movements, with over 300 individuals, some travelling as far as Cornwall to feed. They are wonderfully charismatic, and you can watch my other video which talks more about the pups and the breeding season.
It's time to do our seal survey.
So this is one of my favourite activities. We do seal surveys once a month and we carry them out either side of low tide. So low tide is a really good time to count seals because they haul up on the rocky shores that this island has lots of. So one of us usually takes the east coast and the other takes the west coast. This usually takes around 2 hours. We're not just recording seals though, we're also recording any seabirds and any other birds that we find. So we've got my binoculars. So I'm going to go and count them and see how many we get. A good seal count for us is anywhere between 100 to 200 seals, and this can increase to maybe up to 300 in the breeding season. Let's now travel from the rocky shores out towards the open ocean. Here we come across species like sea gooseberries, a type of comb jelly, and as the seas warm, the jellyfish arrive. These creatures have survived for over 500 million years, making them more ancient than the dinosaurs. They have no bones, no brains, hearts, teeth, or blood. What they do have is a network of nerves that allows them to detect changes in the water around them. At this time of year, the coast is teeming with jellyfish. We have lion's manes with their long flowing tentacles that give a nasty sting, and other species like blue jellyfish and moon jellyfish. Seriously weird and wonderful creatures. And now thank you to Lee from the Manx Wildlife Trust for this footage. We can explore the sandy and stony bottoms of the sea where we can find seagrass beds, a super ecosystem that captures carbon at a rate 35 times faster than tropical forests. Iconic rocky reef species like these cuckoo wrasse. Just look at those colours. They have powerful teeth and jaws which can be used to crush through shells. And of course a species the Isle of Man is known for, scallops. These beauties are small spotted cat sharks, or confusingly also known as lesser spotted dogfish. They're small sharks that live close to the seabed and are very common. I would also like to mention sand eels, small fish species, which I have no footage of but are a hugely important part of our marine ecosystem here. They burrow into the sand to escape predators, and they are the main food source for many seabird species including puffins, Manx shearwater, razorbills, as well as whales and dolphins. You can often see birds flying around the calf with sand eels in their beaks ready to feed their young. There are many other species in these waters that bring us great joy to see, cetaceans like porpoises and risso dolphins, as well as whales and basking sharks. Since 2018, the Isle of Man has designated 10 marine nature reserves, encompassing 10.8% of Manx waters, a significant achievement. With conservation, careful management and a shared vision, we can hopefully ensure the long-term survival of this vital ecosystem and the many species that call it home, creatures great and small. The ocean is a shared resource and one we rely on for so much: the air we breathe, food, money, happiness, well-being and much more. So please stay curious, explore, learn and enjoy what it has to offer. It needs our help and protection. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time.